What is the respiratory system? Your respiratory system is made up of the organs in your body that help you to breathe. Remember that respiration equals breathing. The goal of breathing is to deliver oxygen to the body and to take away carbon dioxide. There are two parts of the respiratory system, the upper and the lower. The upper respiratory tract filters, warms, and humidifies incoming air, protecting the more delicate surfaces of the lower respiratory system, and reabsorbs heat and water from outgoing air. It consists of the nose, the nasal cavity, and the pharynx. The lower respiratory tract conducts air to and from the gas exchange surfaces. It consists of the larynx, the trachea, the bronchus, and the bronchioles. The lungs are the main organs of the respiratory system. In the lungs, oxygen is taken into the body and carbon dioxide is breathed out. The red blood cells are responsible for picking up the oxygen in the lungs and carrying the oxygen to all of the body cells that need it. The red blood cells drop off the oxygen to the body cells, then pick up the carbon dioxide, which is a waste gas product produced by our cells. The red blood cells transport the carbon dioxide back to the lungs, and we breathe it out when we exhale. The trachea is sometimes called the windpipe. The trachea filters the air we breathe and branches into the bronchi. The bronchi are two air tubes that branch off of the trachea and carry air directly into the lungs. The diaphragm. Breathing starts with a dome-shaped muscle at the bottom of the lung. When it contracts, it flattens out and pulls downward. This movement enlarges the space that the lungs are in. This larger space pulls air into the lungs. When you breathe out, the diaphragm expands, reducing the amount of space for the lungs and forcing air out. The diaphragm is the main muscle used in breathing. Whether you're wide awake and getting ready for a big date or asleep during your most snooze-worthy afternoon class, you don't have to think about breathing. It's so important to life that it happens automatically. If you didn't breathe, you couldn't live. The lungs and the respiratory system basics. Each day we breathe about 20,000 times. All of this breathing couldn't happen without help from the respiratory system, which includes the nose, the throat, the voice box, windpipe, and lungs. With each breath, you take in air through your nostrils and mouth, and your lungs fill up and empty out. As air is inhaled, the mucous membranes of the nose and mouth warm and humidify the air. Although we can't see it, the air we breathe is made up of several gases. Oxygen is the most important for keeping us alive because body cells need it for energy and growth. Without oxygen, the body cells would die. Carbon dioxide is the waste gas that is produced when carbon is combined with oxygen as part of the body's energy-making processes. The lungs and respiratory system allow oxygen in the air to be taken into the body while also enabling the body to get rid of carbon dioxide in the air breathed out. Respiration is the term for the exchange of oxygen from the environment for carbon dioxide from the body's cells. The process of taking air into the lungs is called inhalation or inspiration, and the process of breathing it out is called exhalation or expiration. The air you breathe is dirty or polluted, your respiratory system filters out foreign matter and organisms that enter through the nose and mouth. Pollutants are breathed or coughed out, destroyed by digestive juices, or eaten by macrophages, a type of blood cell that patrols the body looking for germs to destroy. Tiny hairs called cilia protect the nasal passageways and other parts of the respiratory tract, filtering out dust and other particles that enter the nose with the breathed air. As air is inhaled, the cilia move back and forth, pushing any foreign matter, like dust, either toward the nostrils where it is blown out, or toward the pharynx where it travels through the digestive system and out with the rest of the body's waste. Go.
Right. Many things can go wrong in the respiratory system. Many factors include genetics, pollutants and irritants, and infectious diseases, and they can all affect the health of the lung and respiratory system. Problems of the respiratory system that can affect people during their teen years include asthma, which is more than 20 million people have asthma in the United States, and it's the number one reason that kids and teens chronically miss school. Asthma is a long-term inflammatory lung disease that causes airways to tighten and narrow when a person with the condition comes into contact with the irritants such as smoking or dust. Bronchitis. It doesn't most of the time, but it can affect those who smoke. In bronchitis, the membranes lining the larger bronchial tubes become inflamed and an excessive amount of mucus is produced. The person with bronchitis develops a bad cough to get rid of their mucus. All right, the common cold and cough is caused by over 200 different viruses that cause inflammation in the upper respiratory tract. And the common cold is the most common respiratory infection. Symptoms can include a headache, runny nose, sneezing, and a sore throat. A cough is a symptom of an illness, but it's not an illness. There are many different types of coughs, and they can range from not too serious to life-threatening. Cystic fibrosis is an inherited disease that causes mucus in the body to be abnormally thick, and mucus can clog the airways in the lungs and make a person more likely to get bacterial infections. Pneumonia is an inflammation of the lungs which usually occurs because of infection with a bacteria or virus. Pneumonia causes fever, inflammation of lung tissue, and makes breathing difficult because the lungs have to work harder to transfer the oxygen into the bloodstream to remove the carbon dioxide from the blood. Common causes of pneumonia are emphysema and infection. Although some respiratory diseases like asthma or cystic fibrosis can't be prevented, you can prevent many chronic lung and respiratory illnesses by avoiding smoking, staying away from irritants and pollutants, washing your hands often to avoid infection, and getting regular medical checkups. and cough is caused by over 200 different viruses that cause inflammation in the upper respiratory tract. And the common cold is the most common respiratory infection. Symptoms can include a mild fever, cough, headache, runny nose, sneezing, and a sore throat. A cough is a symptom of an illness, but it's not an illness itself. There are many different types of coughs, and they can range from not too serious to life-threatening. Cystic fibrosis is an inherited disease affecting the lungs. It causes mucus in the body to be abnormally thick and sticky. The mucus can clog the airways in the lungs and make a person more likely to get bacterial infections. Pneumonia is an inflammatory... Alright, the common cold and cough is caused by over 200 different viruses that cause inflammation in the upper respiratory tract. And the common cold is the most common respiratory infection. Symptoms can include a mild fever, cough, headache, runny nose, sneezing, and a sore throat. A cough is a symptom of an illness, but it's not an illness itself. There are many different types of coughs, and they can range from not too serious to life-threatening. Cystic fibrosis is an inherited disease affecting the lungs. It causes mucus in the body to be abnormally thick and sticky. The mucus can clog the airways in the lungs and make a person more likely to get bacterial infections. Pneumonia is an inflammatory...